Dota landscape. Like that is a big time win, and I think if they get their redemption here, if they finally go out and it's post sell at the tournament, perfect sell, and he comes in and you just obliterate RNG or even just winning the series. I think EHOME all of a sudden put themselves in contention for top 3 in China.
Yeah, potentially. I think the thing for me about Sylar yesterday is he went 4-7 and 6 on Morphling and still ended up winning the game, which I never see. It just doesn't happen, right? So I agree. I think he had some really interesting moments yesterday in that game, but they pulled through. I find it hilarious that they ban out first phase banned PL and Naga on EHOME. I think that's pretty bonkers.
I think it's surprising because they didn't. Did they? No, they didn't play PL or Naga, or up against them the last time these two teams met. It was a safe lane troll and a safe lane anti-mage for Royal Never Give Up. So our first phase bans of 2-1 positions right there. Now the Void Spirit ban. I mean, this is pretty, bonkers of a ban phase. And then, of course, it's not a draft without a Timbersaw getting banned somewhere in the first phase. Still yet to get picked. I'm telling you, they're saving it for the grand finals. If anybody's going to get a redemption arc, it's the Timbersaw, and it'll be in whoever plays that grand final, which should be exciting.
Very targeted bans, though. I mean, Setsu's been playing really well on this Void Spirit. I feel like they've been first phasing it as well, so it's something they're really comfortable opening with in their draft. They banned the Visage as well on RNG. We saw EHOME play this yesterday. Apparently they've been playing it in other events as well. And Innocence has been loving this Trio Protector as well. So a completely different banning stage in comparison to a lot of the tournament we've seen so far. Like there's still all the supports, Shadow Demon, Oracle, Keeper of the Light, Lich, Disruptor, there's all sorts here available. But they go for the low win rate hero. Yeah.
Yeah, now up to 28%. It's not that bad anymore. 28%, respectable. Yeah, when you're starting to, when you were as far down as 20% after 15 games or something like that, which is an impossible number because I gave you an odd number of games, but coming back that quick and it looks pretty good. And all of a sudden they were drafting like crazy fast. DK Ancient Apparition, which is a combination we've seen plenty of times. You like having those stuns with the Ancient Apparition, and now you've got the Shadow Demon that is probably, I almost want to say, it may not be the Jinkyu hero. I almost want to say it's the Nothing to Say hero. I know that's a stretch, but I don't know. It gives me this weird feeling.
It could be, but again, it's this flex thing, right? I really like the DKA pick, though. I think it worked so well for them yesterday. Monet's been amazing on this DK so far in the tournament that there's no reason not to just pick it for him straight away. It's a strong hero. They can flex it over to offlane if they really want to as well. But yeah, this DKA lane, you remember it killed that JT Centaur about 5 times, it felt like, in the laning stage, which was majorly impressive. But I think if you're laning up against something like a Shadow Demon Centaur from EHOME, then this DK might not have such a fun time. I feel like Shadow Demon's much more of a strong support in that lane, and they can always disrupt to break the cold feet.
I will say one thing. I don't know why I think it's a Nothing to Say hero. He hasn't played it once this tournament. I just had an inkling of a feeling.
Who was the guy that played Shadow Demon mid? Was it IG?
Was it LGD? No, that was the Chen, Viper, Troll. I'm trying to look at these games that it was in on what it could have been. It might have been IG, yeah. Let me take a look. That was a week ago.
Yeah. September Phoenix. We saw this yesterday from him. Played really well, actually. Some great egg placements, some great just initiations, especially that one around the Roche pit that we saw, where he kind of dived and gave them vision and just egged on the edge of the pit, so that they were so far away from hitting it. And I really like Phoenix DK as a hero combo. We've talked about how the Sunray is percentage healing and percentage damage. So when you're playing against or with these really tanky heroes, like Lone Druid Bear's another example as well, actually. You sit behind them with the Sunray on and just keep them alive for so long. It'd be interesting to see what they pick as their next hero, to see if it's something that's going to protect the egg. But find it interesting that they banned Mirana as well. Because RNG are now like, oh, we'll take the Phoenix. There's no Mirana in the pool anymore. This is great.
Okay. Yeah, it's an easy Phoenix pickup once that Mirana's gone. We saw the Mirana Phoenix last night, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Mm. So the question becomes: is this DK a safe lane, mid lane, or off lane? And I guess that just that adds to the versatility of this draft. I don't know why I blanked on the word I wanted to say, but as we've said it, I feel like every draft. But I like the DK.
Ember's still in the pool if they want to go for it here, which I think is a really solid pick for EHOME. We talk about these melee cores that use Ink so well. I think Centaur's decent as well. Monkey King's still in the pool if they really want to go for that. I know have EHOME played it? Actually, I'm not sure they have. But some teams seem to really love this Monkey King. And yeah, they do go for the Ember.
Nice call there.
I know, difficult one. But I got it. I see a Grimstroke. I'm like, oh, I think Ember's a good idea.
I see a Grimstroke, and I think Viper's a good idea.
Yeah.
But,
Veno.
Or not Viper, Veno. There we go. Jesus. I'm already off my game, guys. It's terrible.
What do they got? Do they want to pick their mid lane now on RNG? Because they want to flex the DK to the last pick? I mean, the DK could play mid as well, obviously, but... what do they want to go for? They could pick their offlaner now that lanes with the Phoenix as well, I guess. Has anybody played Sand King this tournament?
I don't think so. I don't think it's been picked up this this tournament. I remember looking at it yesterday and it wasn't picked up.
I'm gonna go. Tell me if they pick a hero. I'm gonna go look at the hero list. They could pick Legion as well. Actually, wouldn't be an awful pick. I think.
Yeah,
they have the Shadow Demon. They have the Shadow Demon save, right? But it's still okay. Or like Clockwork potentially as well. Is Mars still in the pool? Yeah, they could go Mars. Oh, they do just go back for the center. Okay.
Which I think is percentage-wise the better idea. As this Mars is still sitting with a 20% win rate after 10 games, and the Centaur a much more respectable 67% after 9.
100%. And I don't mind the Centaur. It's just I don't. The reason I do like it is because it has no cooldowns, right? Where the other kind of heroes we suggest, like Mars as well, it's been a little bit slower. I think Centaur Phoenix is a bit of a we're going to constantly run at you kind of duo. And again, it's another setup for the AA, which is really strong with the Ice Blast, something we've talked about a decent amount. And the Ursa for EHOME, I really like this. It lanes up well against the DK and the Centaur. So you're assuming these are both of RNG side laners. So Ursa should be able to have a good matchup no matter who he gets in his lane. Especially when there's a Grimstroke on your team as well. Like, this hero could go absolutely crazy.
Theoretically, you could just match up the Ursa against either one of those no matter what. Like, if the DK ends up going mid, can't you just throw the Ursa mid and the Ember safe lane anyway?
Yeah,
you said that's their silent area, so couldn't you just throw the Ursa mid?
You could, yeah. But it depends on the matchup and things. Like, RNG are going to try and pick a hero here last. It can actually lane up against Ursa, I think. Either that or they just creep skip with the Centaur on the Phoenix. And they'll try and dodge the Ursa DK lane, I think, mostly. Because they want that hero to have a good start to the game, I would assume. Especially if it's Monet on that hero. He likes to be a little bit more greedy with his item build sometimes. We saw him go for that Radiance yesterday, which was it was a really good game for. I didn't think it would work at first, but he ended up being unbelievably tanky.
Yeah.
Very difficult to kill.
And they go to the Mars, so they go to that 20% win rate hero. I don't know. There's some. The Mars definitely has setup here. It's not awful. Like, you just get a disruption, throw a spear, or the chains as well as the spear. It's got potential.
Shadow Demon Mars sounds pretty good to me as a laning combo. You have a lot of burst damage between those two heroes at like level 2, level 3. level 3 especially. And they can't really kill the Mars if they lane DKAA together. I assume it's going to be Ember mid here, by the way, and Ursa 1. I feel like that's the way round we've been seeing EHOME play it most of the time. Like, nothing to say on this Ember, right?
Yeah, nothing to say. Has played the Ember a couple times. Ooh. Oh, is that the first time OD's gotten through?
I'm pretty sure it's been picked once already, at least.
It's been picked twice, actually. It must have been both of Moxie's series?
Unsure. I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
Did we do... Oh, my God. Did we do Vici EHOME? I think we did, right? Yeah, we did. We definitely did. Because it was the 2 o'clock
Yeah, it was the first game.
It was the first series of the first day. No.
That's why you can't remember.
That's why I don't remember it.
So long ago.
Already so long ago, yeah. And it was played by Vici 1 in 28 minutes, and then the other one was... It was played by Vici both times. So it's got a 100% win rate. It's done pretty well, but of course it's only for one team.
Yeah, you mean the team that's in the upper bracket final?
Yeah, I do.
I think... In terms of drafting, I actually prefer EHOME's lineup, but I'm not sure I believe... I feel like RNG are just a better team. EHOME make a lot more mistakes than RNG do. I think Sylar's the biggest question mark for... He's made some individual errors over the last few days that could be highlighted, I think.
Yeah.
And I think this OD here is a super good game for it here. Yeah, and I think it does really well against Ember in the laning stage. Like, it does well against all three of their cores. You know, the Mars, the Ursa, and the Ember. I think they're going to have to play a really quick tempo here to try and punish that the OD's a little bit slower on EHOME. They need to just, be running at them.
And I want to say, that I have a little bit more faith in EHOME. I probably have more faith in EHOME this series than I did in the previous best of 3 between these two teams. But I don't know. It's definitely like, yeah, EHOME 2-0'd Aster yesterday, but how much of that also was Aster beat themselves? I don't want to take anything away from EHOME because, I did go off on a rant earlier in this exact broadcast and say that EHOME could potentially, make a case for top 3 in China. But at the same time, the more and more that my brain starts to bring up the memories of Sylar running in and dying yesterday on that Morphling, and, I close my eyes for a second and I just see a Morphling waveform to the high ground onto the enemy side and die. I go back to thinking that maybe, we could see, like you said, Sylar getting highlighted in this series and having a bit of a troublesome game.
Yeah, 100%. He's actually on stick first on Sylar. Okay. Not sure how I feel about that. You're laning against Centaur Phoenix. Does he not need more regen in this lane? I guess he brings it out as soon as he can, but it seems to be the thing that more people are doing at the moment, where they buy less regen in general, like hard tangos and salves and things. Because if you see DK's got a stick as well, right, in this top lane, but he's laning at Shadow Demon, so it's not quite as bad.
He's also got 6 tangos.
Yeah,
but and he's also going to have Dragon's Blood. A little bit of a difference in terms of sustainability in the lane, I guess. On top of that, though, Sylar, is he depending on Grimstroke to hand over that salve? Can you rely on that?
Yeah, I think so. It's not 100% necessary for the Grimstroke, probably, right? I just think Sylar has to be a little bit careful here with his regen levels. I just want to point out something small, by the way. If you look at the couriers in the base, you can see that they've put them just outside, so they have the least travel time possible. Unless you're playing against Nature's Prophet Monkey, it's a really good habit to get into.
Does that second or 2 really matter?
Top lane
Disruption, hold on. Jinku. He's going to try and get this kill on a super, and the illusion won't be enough. Also had that stick to regen with, and he'll salve up. So far, so good for EHOME.
They have had to use this salve bot already, though, on EHOME's side. It's just this top lane's going a lot better than I thought it would for them. This DK's getting absolutely destroyed at the moment.
Yeah, Monet's still sitting level 1. He is not having fun 3-1 and just trying to get some last hits here or there. And he's gotten into the Dragon Blood level 1.
Oh my god.
Maybe could have gotten a couple more last hits had he gone Breathe Fire level 1.
Faithion's owning in this lane. He's 9-6 against the DK's 4-1. He has 6 denies in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Did he get both range creeps?
I mean, he's denied at least one from what I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gone for bottle first, actually. Okay.
Interesting. I guess not the worst thing to do in the off lane, especially if you control the bounty rune.
Oh,
I don't think Ancient Apparition's gonna do much in this lane, but Monet's kind of standing in front, making sure that the spear can't hit the Ancient Apparition. That's not a bad move to try and keep Super alive, but 4 stacks of Shadow Poison. Trying to land a 5th. He'll survive with that stick.
Close. Another range creep denied on Faith Beyond.
Okay, something we see with Ancient Apparition in your lane is the Dragon Tail level 2. No Breathe Fire, but Faith Beyond will freeze over. If he can get back on him, he can get the kill, but Jinky with the perfect body blocks. That was very big to keep Faith Beyond alive. And now they're gonna do it to the Shadow Demon, who does freeze over. Spear comes in, but there's first blood.
I don't think it would have mattered if he pinned it to the tree or not, but yeah, I mean, this is the lane combo that we talked about from RNG yesterday. I'm surprised it's going quite as well for them as it is, but you know, in terms of CS, still owning on the Faith Beyond Mars. So got to get kills wherever they can on this RNG side in the top lane.
Fills up that bottle for the Mars, coming back in.
Oh, this Courier's here is in trouble for September. Ooh. Oh, Innocence can't quite get there. 4-minute active rune. It's actually going to spawn top. It's a regen for Setsu. So nothing to say's bottle. Going to be very empty here. And his lane's about to get a lot harder now that OD's level 5.
Top again, spear hitting on a Monet, who's now gotten 2 levels into the Dragon Blood. Cold Feet will proc over on Faith Beyond.
Yeah, I think this is the skill build he usually goes for. He did last time, at least. Another range creep denied by Faith Beyond.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like one level in Breathe Fire. You might be a little bit happier in this lane, not giving up 12 denies to Mars.
It depends, because you don't really have the mana sustain for it until you get the Soul Ring, and it is coming out on the Courier now. So, just leaving the base. We'll get there soon.
Ooh, okay. Setsu with the Ring of Tarask mid.
Yeah, I was seeing some OD players go for Tranquils before, as like their sustain in the game. But I actually don't mind Ring of Tarask. I don't think I've seen this before, but you know, it makes sense. Because this OD hero doesn't build items that sustain him, right? So it stops him having to bring out regen constantly.
Now he's got that Breathe Fire. Maybe won't miss as many range creeps, but Sylar bottom, September and Fly when they combine to get the kill. Level 3 on the Retaliate as well as 1 level in the Hoofstomp. I'm a bit surprised that we saw Sylar drop in that. I mean, the stun is 2 seconds. I guess with the level 3 Retaliate, you could...
Yeah, I mean, that damage will take you by surprise every single time when you get hit by a Centaur at this point in the lane. He's a wacky hero. The bot lane, though, they are going on Flywin.
Inkswell does
Inkswell.
pop, and with the stroke of fate,
Am I going
it
to
doesn't
Sidearm
feel
again?
like enough
They have
damage.
Stampede.
Radiant's
Jesus.
top tower is under attack.
Oh, he went 3 points in Earth Shock. His lane is going to be really difficult because of that, I think. He's going to get
Hope
gone on
so.
again.
Stroke of fate, Flywin getting pressured back, and they'll have the Inkswell, but do they even get the kill? They do finally. He
No
hits level
dive.
6, and now there's the second one on to September.
Yeah, they didn't have the mana for the Stampede on the Centaur. He was like 50 or 60 mana off or so. I think if he'd have just popped the Stampede instead of the stun, he probably would have got out there. Little bit of a misplay. Top lane as well. They're actually going on the DK.
Yeah, they're gonna try, and they've got the Cold Feet, Dragon Tail. This will freeze over the Ember. No! Ooh, I think avoids it with the Slide just at the last second.
Here comes Setsu top though as well.
Wow.
Can they catch him? No.
They camp. They look for the Ember. They've got the Dragon Tail. However, he's already thrown a Remnant out, and that's that. No kills for either side.
Yeah, TP's forced though. Feels pretty good for the... not good, sorry, for the OD. Wants to TP all the way there and doesn't really get anything for it. But his net worth's doing okay. I'm surprised that the Ember on Nothing to Say has done as much as he has this game, to be honest, in terms of net worth. He's actually had a decent time, and he's going to get a DD bot lane as well. Going for that vessel.
Top tower is under attack.
Keen Optic, which Centaur will send back. And that's going to come out on the OD's courier.
Well, really nice item for him. Just that little bit of extra cast range feels lovely on the Astral Imprisonment.
RNG have a 1,000 net worth lead. They've done pretty well in these lanes. Monet's recovered pretty well. I mean, he's ahead of the Mars, so life has been pretty good, despite the fact that the Mars has so many denies. Sylar, though, chasing after Flywin once again. Stroke of Fate, Jinq's here too. Nothing really September can do except watch him die. Monet's a little late to the party. Feels bad for Monet, but he could still farm down here. I think leaving your lane is not the best of moves, especially when it's going well, but the Dragon Tail comes in. You don't have a Cold Feet to proc there with the Dragon Tail. No Enrage for 20 seconds, and like I said, Monet's just going to continue to farm over bottom.
I think that whole sequence, though, they wanted to make the move before they realized Centaur got gone on. So they TP'd the DK bot being like, oh, let's make a move, and then the Centaur died. So Monet ends up wasting a little bit of his time, which is unfortunate, but yeah, they're going to try and push this tower anyway. September's going to go and take the XP top on the Phoenix, just to try and get towards that level 6 at the same time.
Good Dragon Tail, Cold Feet, and they've got the Stampede with the Searing Chains. Is out, Monet trying to leave. Super, meanwhile, trying to keep Monet alive, and, well, they lose 2, and this is looking like they might just lose a third. All 5 heroes from the side of EHOME are in this lane, and they clean up.
Yeah, I love that they're willing to protect their tower like that as well. We've seen this from RNG in all the games that they play this DK. On the safe lane, they just rotate to the off lane, around the 10-minute mark. They try and push the tower with the first ult. Secure the bounty runes, try and take the tower, let September go and get the XP on whatever hero he's playing. And they knew it was coming, and they take a really good fight. There's an Invis rune top lane as well, which, if Mars takes, could be a little bit sneaky.
3 for 1 in the bounty runes as well for EHOME. I want to say I'm a little shocked September wasn't there, but at the same time, I think he desperately needs his 6, so I'm okay with him being in the top lane farming, as long as he doesn't die. But yeah, it looks like he's dead here. Arena, Spear, and an easy kill.
Oh boy.
They also are going to find a ward.
They have this catapult wave top, by the way, on the Radiant side as well. They might look to try and push with this, in the same way that Monet's pushing bot lane now. Just try and mirror the movements.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
This isn't exactly the best start right now for Monet, so Do we see a similar build to last night from Monet?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
He's got the hood first queued up again, which I'm surprised about. He went for that yesterday, but it's a really value item on DK in general, right? Because you're so tanky because of the natural armor you get from Dragon's Blood and things. Like, your effective HP with hood is really high.
Stampede is used now mid. They've got the root on a set Zeus, nothing to say, slowed up. Astro Imprisonment, Super's here, has the Ice Blast. Does he have a Remnant out? Yes, he does. So Super, Dragon Tail, Ice Blast, that lands, they'll get the kill. Good job, despite the Remnant being out for the second jump. He's unable to get to it thanks to the Dragon Tail from Monet. And now this time, RNG were the ones who had 5 heroes over in a lane.
I guess an illusion rune on the DK as well. Feels pretty good. Arcane ring on the... Ember got a neutral item. Not Ember, sorry. Ursa got a neutral item coming out. He's got the broom handle. Okay. And they're going to put the faded brooch on the Ember. I think that makes more sense.
Sylar fighting September.
Oh, he's still level. He's only just at levels. Yeah, but playing against Ursa, right?
Oh, yeah, there's no reason. You're wasting it.
He actually went 4-0-4, I think, before going back for a point in overpower. Interesting.
Sylar's doing really well so far.
Look how quickly Ursa attacks with these treads, by the way. He actually farms really fast.
The question is, can Sylar keep it up? And that's one of the things that I think is the big story of this series, is whether or not he can and whether or not he will.
Look at his gold. He has 3,000 gold on the Ursa. I have no idea what he's going to be buying, but...
Does he go straight Abyssal? I've seen a lot of Ursas go Treads Abyssal, Phase Abyssal. Would that be the play?
I don't think it's... I mean, sometimes we've seen people rush Vanguard if it's a really good game for it, but I actually don't like that this game. There's no reason to. He might end up just going Radiance, honestly. I know it sounds really stupid, but I think Halberd's not awful for him as well, but they kind of need him to have some, like, sort of damage output.
Supernova this time does get used. Ice Blast on the Jinkyu. The supports combine to kill off a Shadow Demon.
September and Super linking up like yesterday. Has he almost got the Ags finished on OD? I think he does. Yeah, he's just the point booster away. Relatively even game though, to be honest. I mean, a lot closer than it was last time EHOME played RNG.
Yeah, certainly a lot closer, as that first game ended in 29 minutes. Still a possibility, but at this point, close. Dragon Tail on nothing to say. Monet just went into that Elder Dragon form, so he's got a lot of time with it.
He has to go for that hood and go for the halberd next as well. Well, they can't take these like really quick fights. It's going to be really interesting. I think they have to take these like the long drawn out fights on RNG where they have the Ags on the OD. Like this DK is going to be trying to frontline for quite a while. Whereas if you look at the Radiant side, like they want to blow somebody up with a Shadow Demon combo. They want somebody like the Ursa to run into with Inkswell and just blow somebody up as well. He's actually got SMY queued up on Sylar. Okay, I don't mind this too much. I think the status resistance is really good this game.
Queen's up mid and actually shows a couple heroes looking by this camp. And yeah, so the SNY for Ursa. What I wanted to say was I'm not surprised that RNG are playing pretty passive. I think this Ags is huge for Setsu. One of the things that I always talk about with this Ags is just how much better it is than not having this Ags. And I know that that is such a stupid sentence, but the difference is you have 2 Astral Imprisonments that are worth 3 each on the charge counters for sanities. And when you're able to get 6 starting a fight this early into the game, I think it's such a big difference to go for first item Ags.
It's not even just that as well, but the cast range increases massively.
Yeah.
You get like an extra 300 cast range, which is, it feels so good. We used to see people build Aetherlens. I don't think Setsu can afford to do that this game. I think he needs to go for like this kind of like Hurricane Pike build.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He's got BKB queued up now, which makes sense.
Radiant's middle tower is
So he's
under
got the
attack.
Ags, and I think this really does end up being a huge item. And now I'm not surprised that they smoke. They want to fight. They've got everything necessary to go for it. I will say that Monet staying mid, maybe I question a little bit, but we'll see how this works out. They're going to stick by this Remnant. If they can force nothing to say over. However, now they've got the Astral Imprisonment into the Supernova. I love this. As there's the second one. Does it time up right, though? No! Now the Ice Blast comes in. Sylar on the run. They've got Astral Imprisonment once again. The arena through. They spear up and lock down the Centaur, but look at that. The Sanity's Eclipse dropped down on Sylar, and Setsu gets one. Maybe a second on Faith Beyond, but Fly1 will claim his life. And a 2 for nil in favor of RNG. And you already see the power of that Astral Imprisonment. 3 Astrals on that Ursa. He couldn't do anything in that fight the entire time.
So, like, there's 2 ways you build this Ursa, right? Where, when you're playing against OD, where you go for, like, this BKB kind of, not rush, but, like, second item. So you can try and fight during that small duration of the window of the BKB. Or you go for this, like, a little bit of status resistance first, which is also really good this game. Now, you're playing against the DK as well. Like, there's a lot of stuns coming through. So the SMY is okay. He's going to go back for the BKB, though. I think it's so necessary here. Otherwise, the OD just kills him every time. If he pops BKB this game and TPs away, they don't do anything. They can't stop him at all, which I think makes it more valuable. I love that he picked the SMY up, by the way, and it almost messed up his chances of living because of the Astral up in the top lane. Only finishing just after the egg blew up. Was really close. They're gonna go Roche here. Ooh. They see it under the ward though on RNG.
The thing is, they don't have Supernova 412. It might line up pretty well for them. Ice Blast flying in, Roche helping out. And he was hit by that Ice Blast. Blink, Hope Stomp. Spear lands onto Fly1. Jinkyu will use that Purge and throw it onto the Centaur.
Oh, this Roche is so low.
Buyback on Super. Roche is down.
DK got it.
Oh, Monet snatches the Aegis.
Oh, what
There's
an
the
egg.
Supernova down, and Faith Beyond can't do anything about this. Ursa in a lot of trouble. There goes the egg popping.
My goodness.
Innocence and Sylar are gone. Make it a 3rd with Jinkyu and a 4th, as they also lost Faith Beyond.
What a sick play from RNG. Like, DK just commits to the pit, and you can see how tanky he is. Like, he pops the hood when he goes in, and they just don't do anything in the arena. Ursa manages to get the kill, but DK wins the click war. And yeah, the fight just turns so completely. Like, September, that egg on the edge of the pit reminds me exactly of where he did it yesterday as well. And they just had nobody there to be able to bring it down. And he's almost level 12 now as well on the Phoenix, which, considering we're not even 20 minutes in yet, it's pretty good going.
The thing, too, is that first Roche and that first Aegis is so important for this Ursa. And now, Monet, you know, it's... he's got the Aegis. And
But it also
completely slows down EHOME.
It also comes down to that great warding outside the pit by that by Super on this AA. Like, this dire vision out the pit just made this fight so much easier for them.
Super is a mid still. A former mid. He knows what he wants in terms of warding. Knows what the team wants.
I think it's so difficult for new position 5 players to come through. Like, in terms because that hero's such like a hard learning curve. I think it's so much easier for players that have been around for a long time, right, to then transition into the 5 role.
Something
It's just
that,
how it goes.
Something we saw Sylar try to do once upon a time, I believe, with Team Sirius. He was playing 5 position. I remember watching him play the Bane.
I mean, the famous picture is the old Secret team, right? With, like, Notel, Kuro, Fly, Puppy, and then S4 are all captains of their respective teams now. Even though S4 is doing it from the off lane. Bot lane.
Bottom. Ice Blast comes through, and that will be it here for Innocence. This is Royal Never Give Up. putting it to EHOME once again. And, you know, I wanted to see EHOME do better. I'm not saying this game is over by any means. It's certainly a struggle now with the Aegis in the hands of Royal Never Give Up, that's for sure.
They haven't lost in 20 minutes, Beacon. They've done better than last time.
29 minutes. Ooh, Jesus, Super getting blown up.
That was game 1, right?
Yeah, game 1
2 was even worse.
29, game 2 is 27. So they still even have time to beat that.
Yeah, that's true.
Is under attack.
Mone's so tanky now with the hood and the halberd. It's effective HP, you know, with the evasion, with the hood active. So strong. He has the Aegis as well. Actually building an AC next. I mean, he's going to be unbelievably tanky.
BKB was popped. Arena's down. Setsu with the Supernova right there. They look for this Ursa. Supernova won't pop in time. Just a long egg. And now
September.
Maybe even EHOME looking to re-engage.
September went 4 points in dive. Wow. Yeah, I hardly ever see that. You usually go for like 2 points max, and then you go for the max Sunray afterwards. It's the sustain and pushes and things is really nice, and we talked about how good it is with the DK.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They don't have Supernova. Elder Dragon form is
Centaur jumps in.
You know, just started, but they've got themselves the Hoofstop. Soulbind doesn't land on anybody. Finally attaches to the DK, but they look over at Jin-Q. Sunrays on the Shadow Demon, as well as the damage coming in on Innocence. They've used the Astral Imprisonment. They'll lock him down. They'll grab the kill. Setsu has Sanities, and he's got 8 charge counters.
They're going to keep going here on RNG. Like, they won't stop this push. They're going to at least chip away at this tier 3. And with both the supports being dead for 30, I don't actually know if EHOME can fight here. That fight was so weird. Like, it feels like they're not on the same page on EHOME. They need to decide whether they want to defend and commit or just back off. And they kind of did a half and half. And they're going to get punished for it. Like, they're losing this tier 3.
I will say that they do have a tier 1 and a tier 2 still standing in the other lanes. But this is not what you want to be giving up 23 minutes in. Sylar, even if he shows up, this could be so bad for them. He's already got 6 charge counters here. He's going to have a 9th with this Astro popping. 7, 8, and now make it a 9th. But at one point, Sanities is going to come down, and EHOME are going to feel the wrath of Setsu if they're not positioned right and they continue to fight into this. However, I will say, Setsu taking a lot of damage and is forced back. The arena comes in. Supernova once again.
Oh, they could
Setsu
turn in with the Sanities.
Drop the Sanities right now, but he just does not feel comfortable with the lack of health.
Oh, they caught one, though. They got the super on their AA. So they at least get something. But yeah, I mean, this melee rack's going down in the bot lane is such a big win for RNG. They'll be really happy with that.
I'm a little surprised that he didn't just blast down the Sanities.
Yeah, but the thing is, they want to back off, right? Like, they don't want to fight anymore. As soon as the Centaur dies, like, they've got a numbers disadvantage, and the DK gets picked off as well. If you Sanity's there and you don't kill them, you're going to die yourself as well, and it's not worth taking the risk.
Mm-hmm.
Radiant are scanning.
You just cut your losses, which is fine. He's almost got the blink now on OD as well. He's really quite farmed. He's like 3,000 gold ahead of anybody else in the game, which is Sylar and nothing to say. Next.
Dire are scanning.
He did have blink. If they had found that Ember, Jesus.
Gold and sweet.
Four staff now for Setsu. DK working on this AC. How far away is he? He's quite a ways. Not, you know, still a long time. Ice Blast trying to predict Sylar's movements. It does come in. They'll use the Stampede. There's the BKB. And Sylar forced away and forced to use that 10-second BKB charge just to go.
This Phoenix is going to have Ags soon, by the way.
Radiant's top tower is
Which is very scary to play against.
Dire's middle tower
Not only
is
for the
under
defense,
attack.
like September's eggs have been really good, so not only good for the save, but for the extra egg count as well.
Radiant's top tower is
He's going to be
under
able to be
attack.
slightly more aggressive with his positioning of it in fights.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's top
Take the
tower
tier
is
1.
under
They'll look
attack.
to the tier 2.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
You truthfully can't really look to even stop this. I will say that they will cut the creeps
Dire's courier has been
with
killed.
innocence here.
Radiant's top tower
Yeah, I think that's the only
has
play they can make. They just gotta chill out a little bit. Monet's going to go and grab his plate mail here as well. Oh my god, he's so tanky with the nether shawl as well. Jesus. So he has 26
fallen.
armor,
Has been killed.
25% evasion, 57% magic resistance, and 34 health, 45 health regen. How are you supposed to kill DK?
Oh, Jesus. They're picking up some great tier 3 items. As mid, Ancient Apparition gets the Ice Blast off. But I think they're also going to find the Mars, so that's a better trade here for the side of RNG. And they also don't have this Mars for 70 seconds. Flywind has the Stampede. They just got to run in tandem. BKB's been popped by Sylar, but is this really the move? You're going in
DK's stunned
real
for a long
deep for
time.
this.
Good
There's the
egg.
Supernova. Can you get the egg? Yes, you can. So, short of
Sanities
the egg,
is up.
you'll end up dead. Monet goes down.
Train harder.
Setsu. It's got sanities, but Flywind now here with the disruption. They are losing numbers on the side of RNG. This is a good fight so far from EHOME. Flywind looking like he's dead next. Remnant onto the high ground, and they will get themselves a 4th.
What a sick fight by EHOME, actually. They did a really good job of just, like, constantly poking without ever really massively committing. Until they went on the egg, obviously. Yeah, he hasn't finished the axe yet. I thought he had on September. Not sure it would have made a difference, but... yeah, really good fight by him. They are losing BKB charges, though, which I think is really unfortunate against the RNG lineup. When you're playing against this this Phoenix and against the OD especially as well, who decided to go back for the Hurricane Pipe, by the way. I think that's a really good choice. He needs to be able to kite the Ursa a little bit more. Like, Blink's okay, but I think Hurricane Pipes just feels a little bit better here. Just to keep your distance.
I just think that I maybe want to wait for the Ags before you fight that. The Ags on September, it seems very, very big.
Yeah, it is big. But he's 350 gold off or so still. You know, like, he doesn't farm particularly quickly. With how they're playing at the moment. They're kind of just waiting for this Roche Pit fight, really, on EHOME. It wasn't up the last time they won the fight, which is really unfortunate for them. And yeah, they're going to see it now. So they're going to try and smoke up, find a pick off, and then head into the Roche Pit, I think. Seems to be the game plan. Salah just goes into the Roche Pit. He's like, guys,
They've already got the scan, though. Smoke still has some time on it. They have the ward on the high ground, so Faith Beyond, the longer he stays here. And he does have the Blink Dagger to initiate it, and potentially onto Monet. Goes back to the high ground, now is shown with this ward, and they know EHOME's near.
They also know that the Dragon Form doesn't have long left, though, because they saw him there, and they will have looked at the Dragon Form duration. So they're probably just kind of waiting for that before they go. Paladin Sword on Ursa, by the way. Really good item. He's going to be happy with that one.
Is that the best tier 3, or is it situationally the best tier 3?
Situationally. Like, there's some carries like Gyro, Troll. You know, TB's pretty good with that item as well. A Slark as well is the other one, actually, that does really well with the Paladin Sword.
Ember strength now rekindled.
He's so close to this axe now in September. 30 gold away. He's going to go and take that big neutral camp. Should have it then.
Makes their fight that much stronger on top of the fact that he's almost level 18.
Radiant are scanning.
He's got quite a good amount of experience. Grimstroke.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, though, right? Where the egg hits, you get level 17 without Ags to, getting level 18 with Ags is such a big increase in hits. It goes from 8 to 13, which could take them by surprise when September does eventually get there.
So they have smoke ready for this, and they're going to try and potentially find a fight.
There's smoked him in the back line as well, though. Super really doesn't want to die first here on this AA. Good Yules.
He's got the Yules, and now the hoof stomp hits on his Jinkyu. Sylar comes over. They've got the Phantom's Embrace onto the Centaur. They do get the kill on a Super, but Setsu takes out Faith Beyond. Soulbind on a Monet as well as Setsu. They'll buy back on the Ancient Apparition. The Icarus dive back. They've got the Searing Chains now onto the Phoenix, who still has that Supernova to use. They've bought back on everybody who's died in this fight so far.
Oh, nice haste.
Nothing to say.
Yeah, this Roche fight's too important. Like, everybody has to be committing to this here. They're going to try and go Faith Beyond. They've got the slow, and Ice Blast
just bought back. Ice Blast comes in, but he should be okay. The arena is down. The spear doesn't hit. September now into the Super.
Oh, what a
good
stomp.
stop on a 2, but Sylar is there and ready to take the life of September. They get the kill on his Jinkyu. Sylar now on the run. They've gotten around him. Setsu doesn't have an Astral Imprisonment for another 10 seconds. They've bought back on Jinkyu. They look over Faith Beyond again. He just bought back, so he'll be dead. 80 seconds gone.
And this is really good for RNG here. They might just start to head into the pit straight away. Yeah, it looks like they will. Really good job by Sylar, though, every single fight, making sure he focuses the egg. It has to be his job every single time, right? He's the only real egg hitter. But as his BKB duration is going down, September has more of a window to try and get that egg off. Because the Flywind Centaur Stomp came through, but Ursa was BKB'd at the time, just before it finished. So Zinkyu's going to manage to spam them out the pit a little bit there with Shadow Poison at least.
So let's see what they can do onto the high ground. Flywind looking for something. He does have the Stampede if they want to continue to charge in, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Astral Imprisonment, BKB's been popped by Setsu, though. Focus Jinkyu, who did buy back as well. So he's gone 80 seconds.
I think that's probably the biggest pick-off they could have got there. The fact that he has no buyback as well, really strong to head into the Roche pit now. This Mind Breaker on Setsu, by the way, is such a good item for him. The attack speed feels really good, but also the silence against the Ember's really key, even the Ursa as well. And Sylar accidentally popped his ult there when they went on the Shadow Demon just before, so he didn't have it, so couldn't engage into the fight to try and protect him.
By the way, Jinkyu is 800 gold off his own Ags. Ooh, Astral Imprisonment, that's up a hoof stomp. Spear lands on a Setsu, so they're going to try and get the kill onto the OD.
September's going to get a good egg
up
off
for a
here.
moment, but there's the Astral Imprisonment. Super ends up dead. He's going to be gone for 75 seconds. Nice Soulbind on a 2. Astral Imprisonment once again. Centaur trying to survive with the help of Monet. Sylar backs away. There's the Sanity.
Oh, he misclicked.
But it just did not hit.
He misclicked on the Phoenix. He clicked on the Centaur instead of the OD. Oh. September.
Never refuse gold given.
I'm worth so much more.
Sanity's... Didn't feel like it really did all too much.
No, it's difficult for him at the moment, though, because they have a decent amount of burst damage with the Ursa and things, right? So he can't just, like, sit there and continually build up stacks without being ran at.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So it still gives them an opportunity to potentially charge this high ground, but EHOME have a net worth lead at this point. They bought back on the OD. Does have an Aegis. If they want to pressure like that. Flywind has the Vanguard, Hood, Heaven's Halberd, Blink. nothing to say with that Ags. BKB 7, BKB 6 for this this Ursa. Now, ooh, Shadow Demon, he's got 3 demonic purges to throw out.
Oh my god.
I feel like he's got to be the target.
Oh, every single fight, he has to be the target. I didn't even realize he was building into an Axe. I hadn't clicked on Xingqiu in ages. It's going to be so good up against this DK. You know, offering the break against the Dragon's Blood's really handy. But also good at helping to kite the OD around as well.
So they're going to jump in. They've got the break onto Monet, doing a lot of damage. Flywin also on the run. That'll force the Stampede out.
This Sunray's so good at keeping the DK alive. We talked about how effective his HP pool is, right? When you have the Sunray giving you this percentage HP on top, like, you're so difficult to kill. Oh, Havoc Hammer for him as well. He might end up just taking that one instead. Difficult one. Difficult decision for him. I think he has to keep the Titan Sliver considering he's against this SD Aghanims now. But I'm not sure if he realizes yet.
He swaps into the Havoc Hammer.
Okay.
Magic Lamp. We'll see if anybody picks that up. Super Might. Yeah, okay.
And this Monet DK, by the way, has been so difficult to kill. This is before he's picked up his BKB, remember? Like, now that that's going to be coming out really soon.
Blink Spear, but you need follow-up to that.
I mean, how are you killing him, though?
Yeah.
They need, like, everything on him in a fight. He has to be super out of position as well, I think. Because if RNG is set up ready for a fight, I actually think it's really difficult for them to lose it. I think EHOME have to take them by surprise.
That's a great one there for the OD.
Yeah, that does feel good. Timeless Relic for the Radiant side. That's a Shadow Demon item if I've ever seen one.
Yep. Jesus.
Oh my god, he's going to pick it up as well.
And they go after Monet. Can they get the kill? Flywin, Dragon Tail, and Force Staff back on a Sylar, but they've got the Astral Imprisonment, so they'll start to work on this tier 3. Sanity's in, doesn't kill Sylar, so they threw that maybe with hopes that that would have gotten the kill. It doesn't. Repair kits on the tier 3. They'll use the Soulbind. They've got the Searing Chains as well as the Double Disruption. Arena's down, Spear hit, Stampede used. They haven't gotten any kills just yet.
He has cheese on the DK.
They've taken a lot of damage, and he's popping that BKB. He's trying to get kept alive by September, and will be.
Yeah, they really want to get this tower.
They don't have another Demonic Purge for 30 seconds. I think that's huge as the Ice Blast flies in.
Oh, what an egg.
The Spear. This is a great Supernova potentially.
Oh, my goodness.
Just pop, and it will. So now, Faith Beyond in trouble, but the Remnant forward for nothing to say, trying to clean up RNG. Setsu sitting low, September once again with the Sunray. Nobody dead on either side after all is said and done.
I can't believe nobody died after that egg went down in the middle of the fight. That's crazy. Yeah, really good hold by EHOME, but again, at the same time, if they didn't have repair kit, that tower would have gone down, and which would have made the defense so much harder. So, you know, well played by them, especially with this Aghanims. I think it's come at a massively good timing. And there's a 60-second recharge time, though, for the Shadow Demon. And that was the 10-second BKB from the DK as well, though, for RNG.
He just expires and sets you without buyback for 2.5 minutes now.
What about damage?
DD on the Dragon Knight.
Who's going into the Ags next? 2,200 gold away from that.
Yeah, I think that's a decent choice, though. With the Iron build that he's gone for, especially, just to, you know, help beef him up a little bit more still. Like, he still does an okay amount of damage with the with his normal attacks.
Ursa bought out on the Ags.
Yeah, I don't mind that, though, honestly. I think he's been playing pretty well on Sylar most of this game in terms of just committing to fights and playing around his in-range of BKB really well. And I love this ninja gear that he has as well. The thing is now, like, if they ever go on him first, he can just pop the enrage to take off the disables. Like the DK stun, for example, just instantly gets broken.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Is it enough to change the game
Dire's
complexion,
structures are
though?
fortified.
It's
Set
difficult.
He's got Hex. Do the items stack up well enough from EHOME against these RNG items?
The thing is, though, I don't know what they buy that helps them win fights at this point. Like, the Shadow Demon Axe is probably the biggest thing they could have hoped for. They've got the Dark Portrait on Grimstroke now as well, because he has his own axe. So if they make an illusion of that DK, that could be huge for them. I don't think they had that last fight. So, RNG, we'll see.
It's crazy how much Ags has just become this popular item. Not like it hasn't been, but it feels like it's so much more of a popular item, I guess. It's been picked up a lot. How many games this tournament alone have we seen a team of like all Ags,
Yeah, but I think also at the same time, like a lot of the support heroes that have been picked are pretty good with those, with that Ags upgrade. I think Grimstroke especially, we've seen a few now because of all the carry heroes that are being picked up and the DKs as well. Like we've seen it played against DK, like Terrorblade, PL. I think it was PL. And they're going to smoke at the same time, by the way, and just it feels like they're going to completely miss, unfortunately, for both teams.
RNG heading in a close trajectory. This courier goes over, and that'll give them the vision that they need. So they know exactly where they are. They know that they're away from the Mars, so he's dead. Faithion is gone. He's got buyback.
Yeah, that was weird from Faithion. He's just not connected with his team at all there. Or can they get Xingqiu?
No. Can't get anybody.
Close, though. Every single one of them was close.
So now DK will have the Ags in a couple hundred gold, but the question is, does he buy out on it? It's also sitting close to getting level 25, which, what do you go for here? Is it the Dragon Blood HP regen and armor?
I think normally we've seen him go for that, but I think when you're playing against the Shadow Demon Axe with the break, you're not really going to get the effectiveness out of it in the fight, so I'd be surprised if he didn't go for the stun duration, to be honest.
I think both are pretty hard for him to utilize in this game.
I think stun duration is like always a good thing to have, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be surprised if that's not what he went for. Oh, this courier in the pit here. Mone's like, do I really have to walk all the way around here to get into
and
the pit?
And it's just going to go to the opposite side anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Space.
well,
Space created.
I love seeing the Chinese players do this. It's
Started
happened so
with,
much more.
IG.
Yeah, it's happened with so much more than in any other region I've watched. They send a different courier out to scout this time. The next one with the shield is available. Is it going to make the mission over?
Stampede and
It was to
Sour went for it, but
yeah, him and the Ursa ran into each other for the bounty rune spawn. He's like, oh god, I'm out.
I actually haven't even noticed that OD is level 26. He's got himself
Flicker.
the extra arcane orb damage.
He might take
percentage.
the flicker, by the way, on Ursa. No, he doesn't. Okay. Yeah, the arcane orb damage is it's pretty good going. Used to be 2%, but after the nerfs, the talents in general.
Ooh,
Oh my
Ember,
god, look
he's
at that
25.
play
What the
bot lane.
heck? Look at the damage!
Dude,
Oh! Setsu!
that was so sick, actually. Like, he
Now
just
they're gonna work over
fought-
mid.
yeah.
The Soulbind comes out under both the DK as well as the Centaur. Icarus dive all the way
the-
across. They've got
oh
the
my god, the X saves
Supernova,
him.
but there's the BKB. They
Is it gonna save him?
Kill the Centaur. They did get the save off. So now the
Oh
Supernova
my
pops.
goodness.
Oh Jesus! On everybody. Down goes nothing to say. The Sanities is perfect, and now they'll look over at Faithion to take out the Mars. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe make it Mambo number 5 with this Grimstroke getting low and potentially dead. The cold feet is there, and it won't proc, but Inkswell won't be enough to save you, Innocence. I'm sorry to say, you are gone too.
That's a
and it's
gem on the floor
full
as well.
team wipe for the side of Royal Never Give Up, despite the fact that they lost set 2.
What a sick fight though by RNG, and what an egg as well.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Oh my
attack.
goodness. I mean, the fact he kept somebody alive in that egg duration as well and just refreshed all their skills and everything. Yeah, and RNG are just going to go for this, and they're going to be like, oh, guys, I don't have buybacks,
GG.
so the game's over. Yeah, like,
What's the pulling range on that Supernova?
it's pretty high. I think, does he have keen up? No, he took Magic Lamp, but it's not huge, but you have dive as well, right, to get into a decent position for it.
Under attack.
This game was... I actually quite enjoyed this a lot. It was, you know, very tactical, very... Both teams were kind of giving it what they had, but it felt like EHOME, although they took some good fights and things, it never really felt like they were in a driving seat to win the game. Like, they were keeping themselves in the game, but it never looked like they were going to win. And it always felt like RNG were dictating when the fights were going to be, how they were happening around the map. And I'm not sure about this Ursa Ember core duo in the end. Like, they don't take buildings at all. So every time EHOME won a fight, they didn't get anything from it. Like, they could take the Roche fights because they had the Ursa, but they don't have any potential to push buildings. So the fact you're playing against this like lineup that is so difficult to play into, like with this DK sitting at the front, you know, the Phoenix behind. So even if you do ever get pushes off, the DKs are going to be there to defend the towers. And I think they need to make sure they pick a lineup where they can, you know, transition into objectives after they win fights. Because otherwise,